All right, yo, what's going on, everybody? Matty Icy with Profit Props. This is the Sharp Side. Appreciate y'all tapping in with me yesterday. I'm sorry, tapping in with me today. Let me get this bad boy off of here. All right. As always, we will recap yesterday first. Let me get this banner off here. Solid Sunday. 11-4 overall on the release plays. 3-1 on the anytime touchdown plays. 11-4 overall, about 6.8 units of profit. Hurts anytime touchdown, that missed. Achane anytime touchdown, cashed. Pickens anytime touchdowns, cashed. Chase Brown's under cashed. Pollard's under cashed. We tried to middle Baker. We had a 15-yard middle. I mean, I live with that. We missed the middle, so won the over, lost the under there. Jameson Williams' longest reception missed. He had 1 for 9 yards, so I live with that. Daniel Jones is like a terrible beat. He had 220 with like 12 minutes left in the fourth, but the game was like 40-3, so he didn't go back in. We had over 225.5. He finished with 220. That was tough. Sutton cashed. Dobbins cashed. Javonte Williams cashed. Breece Hall cashed. Our largest bet on Sunday, Justin Fields, over 186.5 cashed. And then Justin Jefferson just continues to print for us. So 11-4 overall. We were 1-3 on Thursday, however, lost about 2.8 units. So on the week, we're up about 4 right now, I believe, bringing us up to about 12 units profit on the NFL season on released plays. All right, let's get into today's slate. Kansas City Chiefs versus Jacksonville Jaguars. This game is at 8:20 Eastern. I have some notes. I have one play in this game. Currently, it's Trevor Lawrence under 227.5 passing yards. This one has moved a decent bit depending on where you look. But I do project this line at, let me just pull it up. One second. Odd screen. I make it 202, so I still see a lot of value on the under 221.5. I believe that's still available at MGM. Let's pull this up. That Marquise Brown line is a just foreshadowing for what's to come here. Definitely want to look into him more. 219.5 might be the best line now. 220 on some DFS apps. Look, I make the line 202. I'm glad I got the best of it at 227.5, but I do still think that it's playable where it's at. Tyquan yards and catches if Worthy out. Yes, absolutely. I also want to talk about, honestly, a lot of the receivers on the Chiefs side if Worthy isn't able to go today. Let me add Trevor Lawrence to the banner here. and then we'll keep it moving. All right. Let me see where I come in on Trevor Lawrence attempts and completions. I'm at 19 on the 19.2 on the completion, so I do lean under there as well. And then on the attempts, I'm at 33, really putting me right with market with Trevor Lawrence. I will say my yards with Mahomes are quite close. The under 253, I do see some edge, but pardon me, not a lot. Let me pull Mahomes up on props.cash here. So you see 250.5 at FanDuel, 253.5 at some DFS sites. My model would lean slightly under here, but not enough for me to want to play anything. His completions and attempts, I do believe, are a little closer to me being interested in them. But the Chiefs have just thrown the ball a ton this season. I need you to chill. 39, just 29 versus Philly, but you know Philly slows the game down a lot. Then 37 and 37 on the season, averaging 35.5. That number being 36.5. We can go over here on props.cash and see they're allowing second, third most passing attempts per game at 39. And if you look, I know it's kind of a split backfield, not to kind of deviate from what we're talking about, but you see the rushing yards here, very, very comparable here for the two backs in Kansas City. 44% snap share last week for Hunt, 37% last week for Pacheco. I would lean under a Mahomes attempts, a Mahomes completions, but not enough for me to get there. My numbers are passing attempts. I'm at like exactly 34, and FanDuel's at 36.5. Rivers is at 36.5. I see a little bit of value there, but not quite enough for me to want to attack it. And then I'm lying. No, I'm right on the completions. I'm at 21.3. Market's like 23.5. Best under looks like it's going to be 05 at Rivers. Cool. It looks like there's an 05 here at Bet Rivers, but still, that's not enough for me to want to attack this line either. So Lawrence passing yards is going to be the only passing prop we're going to be on. I do have a list of stuff I want to go over here. Before we get any more into any plays, let me actually go over some of this coverage data. There's some interesting stuff here. Jacksonville is playing the most cover 6 in the NFL. I think 6th most zone overall. Both of these teams play a lot of too high. Kansas City, like second most in the league, about 68, 69%. Jacksonville coming in like 10th, 11th in the league, I believe, 55, 56%. What I've found on the Kansas City side of the ball, and we'll dig deeper into the Jacksonville side of the ball as we're going over some of these plays. Juju is leading the team in yards. Now, keep in mind, there's injuries. I understand that. Worthy's only played 2 games and may be out tonight. Juju's leading the team in yards, and Hollywood Brown's leading the team in target share. And basically every metric I looked at, that was true in terms of what we'll see tonight. Versus zone, versus cover 6 individually, versus zone versus 2 high, versus cover 6 versus 2 high, even versus 1 high. I thought maybe Kelsey would overtake some of those in maybe target share, but it's very consistent in Marquise Brown getting more targets and Juju essentially doing more with them. I didn't see anything on the running back side of the ball that stood out to me. Let's go through these one more time. So Tutton, I'm at 25.2, would lean over his rushing yards. It looks like there's an 18.5 at MGM. Pacheco, I'm at 26.1, so I don't really see any value to his under. ETN, I'm lying. I'm lying like shit. ETN, I am at 88. I want to go see how the market's moved. Kansas City, 5.4 yards per attempt. 22nd rushing yards allowed per game. We might be on a Travis Etienne over here. See if I can see line history. 60.5 at Fanatics. We'll have to go see if that's still real. I got FanDuel opened around 65, moved down slightly. Haven't moved much. I see a lot of movement in softer books, though. Open as low as 59.5. If that Fanatics number is real, I'm interested. Oh, you know what? I was on the phone with Storch earlier. He told me Rivers has a look at my dumbass. Rivers has a minus 125 on this as well. At the 60 plus number. Again, I make this number 88.8. What are my attempts? That's a good question. Rush attempts. Travis Etienne. I make his attempts 17.4, so I lean over there as well. What's the spread on this game? We've got -4 for the Chiefs. That sounds right, honestly. John, nice to have you back. Appreciate you tapping in, bro. Appreciate you tapping in. -4 on the road sounds right. I don't think that's going to affect Etienne's attempts a lot. I think they'll be into it late competitively. All right, next thing is to go to Fanatics. I'm going to try to find the best price I can on this. Over 60.5. 60 plus minus 127, though, would probably honestly be tempting enough. No, we're 65.5 at Fanatics. Let me go check Rivers on a 60 plus, maybe a FanDuel too. I don't think we need to buy points in the sense that, like, if it doesn't make sense, don't do it. But my projections are 88.5. But if I find someone off market on an offline, I'll take it. They're at 64.5, which is already a better line. Minus 152. I would absolutely not lay that. Probably going to go 64.5 over for Etienne. FanDuel's also, Hard Rock. Go to Hard Rock. I got 62.5. MGM as well. They just mirror each other. They want me to follow. I got bad bitches super much. I don't even call. All right, do what you got to do to get that in. I'm gonna do what I got to do to get that in. Over 62.5 minus 115. MGM, Hard Rock, whatever you got. Yeah, those are the only two 62.5s. I'm going to win one unit. Honestly, I think if you don't have MGM or Hard Rock, I was going to run the 64.5. You can get 64.5 at Caesars, FanDuel, Rivers. Just try to stay away. Like don't lay to 65.5 if you don't have to. All right, let me get that on the banner. That's 2 plays out for tonight. I don't know why. This one just got like, what was that one last? I know we had JSN, but we just had another one. We lost by like, it was Kyron Williams on Thursday Night Football, man. If he doesn't fumble, oof. We've had a couple bad beats. For some reason, that one worries me. That dude's going to fall right on 60. I know why. Because this opened 58.5 DraftKings. You ought to have been tapped in with me for a long time. No. I just hate not getting the best of a number. But whatever, we live. It's better for account health to play closer to tip or kickoff in this scenario. ETN was my really only, at least in terms of yards, edge. Let me go look at attempts. All right, so rush attempts, Pacheco. I lean under for real. How's the market moved? Not really a lot. Let me see here. I lean under Pacheco. I'm probably not going to push the envelope. Let me go see what Kareem Hunt is. For some reason, that didn't auto-populate. Got him at 27.5 yards and 7.22 attempts. Markets at 8. I lean under both of their attempts, but nothing official. Patrick Mahomes, I am literally right with market at 4.5, so there's going to be nothing there. ETN, we've spoke on this. We just took his yards over. Project his attempts over as well. I'm at 17 if we want to look into that one just a little bit more. Yeah, you see the Chiefs allowing yards. Right in the middle of the pack into attempts. I think we did the right thing taking yards over attempts for ETN. We'll leave it at that. All right, I wanted to get into these receivers more. There's some interesting stuff with this coverage data. I think there's some low lines. I know there's some question marks around if Xavier Worthy's going to play. He's absolutely, obviously, a guy that can take the top off. Shout outs to my guy Prop. Appreciate everybody that like to retweet the stream so far. Shout outs Prop. Shout outs to my guy John. I appreciate y'all. Help me grow the brand. Help me grow the page. Appreciate y'all. Here's what the couple pieces I wanted to look at. Juju over 28.5 at MGM. I like his yards over receptions over 2.5 as well. I want to look into those further. Everybody and their mom is on Travis Hunter's over. I like the under 31.5. My model projections come in just at, we'll get into this further, but just for shits and giggles. I come in at 21.1, so at under 31.5, we have about 10 yards to play with. And then Kelsey. I like Kelsey's over. I like Travis Kelsey's over. More so yards than receptions, I believe. 4.2. So, yeah, I'm actually kind of like right with market. Still an edge, but the edge is definitely more so for the yards for me there. So, we'll get into each one of those specifically. I already talked about the coverage grades. Let's go talk about Kansas City's coverage grades a little more, though. So, Kansas City's running man about 30% of the time, zone 66% of the time. Running too high, the second most in the NFL, about 68.1%. So, you're going to get a lot of too high out of them tonight. When they go man, like they blitz a lot. They're playing the most cover zero in the league at 13%. I don't know how that's going to stack up for Trevor Lawrence, but obviously I already ran his under, so I'm not expecting it to go well for him. In terms of cover one, you're not seeing a lot out of either of these teams, but Kansas City does play a good bit of cover two. Not a lot of cover two man, about 3%, but that still puts them in the top 10 of the league. Jacksonville, middle of the pack in cover three. Middle of the pack in cover four, and then as I spoke on earlier, the most cover six in the NFL. And I already spoke on it a little bit. Hollywood Brown, again, I know Xavier Worthy's been out. Hollywood Brown has been getting a massive amount of targets. Let's talk about him first. So this season, 99 in that game versus the Chargers, 16 targets in that game. He had 3 red zone targets. You can see, obviously, it looks like he's fallen off. But, I mean, 5-6 targets per game is not bad. Obviously, you've got Philadelphia here who controls clock a lot. I mean, all 3 of these are kind of slower paced games. In my opinion, far slower than you're going to get tonight. My target projection, got to go somewhere else to get that. 1 second. 1 second here. Target 6.87, 5.5 receptions, 55 yards are my. I mean, that's just a huge edge. I do want to go see how this line's moved. Receiving yards, Brown. FanDuel sitting 39.5, open 35.5, so they've definitely climbed. DraftKings opened 39, dropped to 37. Now they're up to 40, so they've danced around. Same can be said about Caesars. Opened high, dropped, and then climbed up again. I am interested in the best number here. Receiving yards. It's just going alphabetical order. $37. I think 37.5 is going to be our best number. 37.5 FanDuel. I hate when FanDuel is the best number, but that's what it's looking like. What's his receptions? And what do I make his receptions? I make his receptions 5.51. Getting 4.5 plus money. Plus 126 at FanDuel. I make it 5. But I almost like his yards better looking at this. I make it 5 on 6 targets when you think about that too. Makes me like the yards more. Let's go through the rest of the receivers because I don't think I want to lay every receiver, but we'll probably have at least 1 or 2 plays on a receiver here. ETN, I'll tell you what my numbers are. I don't remember off the top of my head. 5 yards. Nothing. I lean under for ETN here. Although I want to go to the props.cash app. Y'all, if y'all are props.cash, if y'all are tapped in, I would absolutely love. On the mobile app, they have so you can see like running backs, yards allowed by the team, receivers, tight ends. They don't have that here on the desktop. I understand it's different. It'd just be nice to have that. So they're 20th in yards allowed to running backs this season. I'm going to stay off of that, but the model leans under there. I'm going to stay off, but the model leans under. Brian Thomas, this is pain. This is pain. I'm making 54, so I really don't see an edge, but I was so high on this guy coming into the year. I thought Trevor Lawrence wasn't going to be ass. I thought Travis Hunter in the slot would take away a little bit of the focus on him. And I mean, I've just been wrong as shit for the first 4 weeks. Longest reception might be a look because he's like, what's that number? 22.5. I don't even think it's a look there. If it were like 19.5, I'd have been more interested, but I might actually lean under receptions. Let me see what my receptions line came in at. 3.2. I do lean under his receptions. I want to go see what the market's done. Not shit, really. So they're just confident in their number. I do lean under Brian Thomas receptions here, and it pains me to say it because I need him in fantasy this week. I'm playing Storage. Those of you that have been tapped in for a while in the Discord know Storage. He was supposed to whoop my ass. We're the last 2 undefeated teams. I'm up like 8, and I've got Brian Thomas left. He's got Strange, which foreshadowing the model does like his under, and I think one of these kickers. He's got Butker. So it's a sweat tonight. I need Brian Thomas Jr. to not suck. But my model indications are to take his under, so that's sad. Xavier Worthy, have we got any additional news since we've been on stream? It's like 75 degrees where I live in October. That doesn't happen often. So I'm going to be I'm going golfing. That's why we're going about an hour early here. Let me just go check Hollywood Brown. I'm tripping. I'm looking for Xavier Worthy news. Fucking Ian Rappaport. I don't want to listen to a 2-minute thing. I just want to see. What did Rappaport say this morning? Expected to play tonight? Is that what y'all got? Expected to play is what the way I'm approaching this. And I still honestly like a lot of these guys overs with Worthy playing. I'm not going to be on Worthy, especially with the injury. But let me check out Kelsey's best line. 40.5 at Fanatics, maybe. Travis, Kelsey. No, I've got that they moved to 45. I got a 41 at Hard Rock. Pardon me. I've got a 40 at Rivers. Let's go T. Shout outs to my guy Sosa, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in, helping me grow the brand, helping me grow the page. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Let me go find the best number on this. I'm interested in a Kelsey under. Another thing I want to go see, though, is what's Jacksonville in terms of yards allowed to tight ends? 19th. Okay, let's go see what has been done versus them. 58 from Tongas, 39 from Schultz, 28 from Fant. These are all people that went over the numbers. Carolina's dude went over. I can't even pronounce his name. Tight ends are averaging 3.57 over their closing line this season. I'd say receptions are even better. But I think my model was more on the yards than the receptions. Let's dig into that a little bit further. I'm at 4. Oh, that's right. I said I'm basically right with market on the receptions and a little over on the yards here. What's his reception long tonight? That's probably efficient. All right, yeah, let me go to Rivers. I'm going to try to play. Sosa posted, great work this weekend, my boy. We needed that update on Worthy. Yeah, facts. I want to, I don't want to attack some of these receivers until I know for sure he's playing. Expected to play and playing are two different shits. $122 on the Kelsey 40 plus. I'm looking for the best price. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I haven't even used that Gambly joint in a minute. Receiving props. Kelsey 40 plus. I got 142 at FanDuel. Yeah, I think I'm going to go. Shout outs, props.cash. Appreciate the like. Appreciate the retweet. Helping me grow the brand. Appreciate y'all. I'm running this at Rivers, y'all. I know I'm waiting on the Worthy news, but I'm running this. Kelsey 40 plus minus 122. When's the last time they even faced up? I see the head-to-heads 2-3, 2013. Yeah, Kelsey's probably lost a step since then. 4, 6, 7, and 5 targets this year. I did this on the app, but I can show you all this here too. So you can see tight ends low-key have cooked him already. Let's go talk about his zone percentages. So verse 2 high, Kelsey, 15% target share. And it's honestly, there's not a lot of routes ran versus zone coverage too high this year. 38. Honestly, he's got the most route runs on the team. So that's interesting as well. Bringing in also about 15% of the team yards in those scenarios. Versus zone in general, wow, very consistent. Target share hanging in right around 15%, which actually is the third highest on the team. Same for yards. Keep in mind, Xavier's Worthy's missed basically 3 games with a dud in the one when he got hurt. Yeah, let's run this 40 and 40 plus minus 122, Rivers. I'm going to win 1 unit here. Kelsey, I did 40 plus. So let's talk about other lines. Like if you don't have a Rivers, I know they're not in every state. I do think the straight is playable. Just let me see the best straight. I got MGM's at 41 and a half. I don't know if they do a 40 plus. I probably should have checked that first. I know Hard Rock, I'm sure, I think they do as well. What I have found though, generally speaking, this isn't like law, but generally speaking, if you want to buy down, Rivers is generally your best. If you want to buy up, it's still 365 and then FanDuel. Okay, no 40 plus on MGM. I think Hard Rock does do a 40 plus, though. I'll double check that before we move on. Yo, shout outs to my guy Fox for the retweet, man. Appreciate y'all. Help me grow the brand, help me grow the page. Hopefully, I can give y'all some more winners today. Shout outs Choi, Fox, Money Making Ron, and George. I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate the like. Appreciate the like. Hopefully, I can feed y'all some more winners today. Just double checking the best price on this Kelsey. I mean, low key, I already locked it in, but I'll give y'all the best price. I'll still claim my one minus 122. It's 130 at Hard Rock, so I think it's still playable there. The 122 is the best though. Travis Kelsey 40. All right, moving on. Travis Hunter. I've spoke on this already. I actually lean under. Let's talk about it. Let's go look how he's done versus Too High this season. Because low key, I don't know. I don't know. Brian Thomas is leading the team, but Travis Hunter is at second. 15% target share for Hunter. His average depth of target's about 8 yards. Brian Thomas' average depth of target is about 11. He's got 40% of the air yards. Brown has the second most air yards at 28%. Honestly, both Thomas and Travis Hunter have generated yards after the catch, averaging almost 7 yards after the catch per reception versus Too High this season. Let's go talk about Kansas City some more. Yeah, they're running a lot of cover zero. I don't know what that's about. Versus man, Too High, Brian Thomas, 33% of the target share. Not a lot of routes. Nothing actionable there. You know, I'm not seeing Brenton Strain's name on here a lot. Although versus man coverage, he's got a 25% target share. Okay. Again, they're only running about 30% man. So Travis Hunter, I lean under. I know there's a lot of people on the over. I'm just going to stay off of it. Let me go see where my receptions are. I'm at 21 and a half here. I wonder what props.cash projection is. Is that only on mobile? It's only on mobile, I think. And yeah, is that 31 and a half still available? That was at Bet Online. Yeah, that was an offshore book. It was 31 and a half minus 08 about the time stream was starting. Lean under there, but I'm just going to leave that as a lean. Let me see what I come in on his receptions. $2.4. I do lean under. I lean under on both, but I'm probably just going to leave Hunter alone today. Yeah, I lean under on both yards and receptions, though. All right, let's go talk about Hollywood Brown. This is the one where I think there's a lot of boom potential here. I think this could honestly be a ladder spot. Target share should be pretty nice. even with Hollywood Brown back, the Kansas City Chiefs throw the ball, whether like they're just allergic to running it almost. You see their dual backfield projected for 60 yards, maybe. And the total in this game is what? That's a great question. I think it was around 47, but I could be wrong. 45 and a half. I think it opened about 47. I almost don't want to play any of these until I know for sure about Juju, but let me just go talk about my projections here. $55.5 on the yards, boys. And 5 point the target or the receptions to me feel high at 5.5. I'll just be honest. But the yards feel right. 55. Season average is 52. He had that dud versus Philly. 99 versus the Chargers. 16 targets is crazy. Yeah, and the Chargers and Jags aren't necessarily comparable defenses outside of cover 3 usage. Damn, this one's tough. If it's this tough, I should probably lean off. Don't be surprised if you see a write-up on this later. But for now, I'm going to go no play on Hollywood Browns over. Definitely a lean, though. This is the scary one. This is the one where the model definitely leans under here. But you can see over in 3 or 4 games this season, averaging 45.5. Let's go see what this line has done. I got FanDuel 35.5 right now, open 33. So they open 33 and rising. It makes me feel better that they opened closer to where I did. And then you just got to take sharp money and respect it, right? So I feel like sharp money has drove this line up. This is going to be another one where I have a really solid edge, but I think I'm just going to stay off of it. The Chiefs don't run no man coverage. He has really good target share versus man this year. They run about 30%. I'll tell you where that ranks them in the league. It's the 11th most. You know what I mean? It's not a little bit. Where are my projections on Strange's receptions? I'm at 2.4 here, so that 3.5 under plus money feels right, but I just can't do it after back-to-back 6. That's on 7 targets though. Like Lawrence isn't missing them, and if you see down there, I'm on Trevor Lawrence's under. I think I took that joint. Yeah, that's a 2-unit play, which I've only had a handful of those this year, so I got a good number. It just makes sense. I like the under here too. Model leans under on each of these plays. Also leans under on Travis Hunter, right on market with Brian Thomas. If this one had moved in the direction I had expected it to, I'd probably be all over it, but it's moved against me by a few yards. He's over in 3 or 4. I'm gonna leave Strange off my slip. I do lean under here, yards and receptions. I really do, but I'm gonna just leave it off. I thought he had a rush. Okay, it was backwards. So for Parker Washington, come in at 10.52. He had the 2 big. I think he had a really long reception. Yeah, he had a 40-yard ball in this game. We all know about Cincinnati's secondary. I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but how does J-Mo have 1 reception for 9 yards versus that secondary? I shouldn't be mad. 11-4 is great, but one catch for 9 yards versus the Bengals? J-Mo? I digress. This motherfucker had a 40 ball versus him. What? It's cool. It's fine. Snap share is going way up. I don't know if my models accounted for that. I'm not even that far off, low key. Slightly into the under, but I'm gonna stay completely off of Parker Washington. Here's another one where I'm like confused because I want to be on Juju's over. Model projections put him around 50. Let me go check. I want to say even like a 55, 58. Like I feel like I should be all over this. And I mean, he's got air yards. He's got the target share versus cover 6 versus zone in general. Versus too high. I know it's only a 55, 56% on the clip on the too high, but it still puts him around top 10-ish in the league. I think it was 11th. If no worthy, I'm smoking this line. I have absolutely got market support with this one. As low as 28.5 at some points. Now we're sitting at 31, 32. We find the best one. Receiving yards. Alphabetical. I got a 28.5 at FanDuel, 29.5 at Rivers, 28.5 at MGM, 28.5 at Hard Rock. MGM 110, best number I see. No VIGs at minus 116, but I can't see the liquidity, so I think that means it's under $100. I really want to run Juju's over. Tyquan Thornton, another one with no worthy. I really want to run this. My model projections are 55. Is that with worthy in? That's with worthy in. Yeah, that's with worthy in. I actually have him outperforming worthy. I don't want to be on two receivers. I'm already on Kelsey's 40. I'm going to wait, but don't be surprised if you see another Kansas City receiving prop after we get some more clarity on just exactly what's going to happen. So we'll move on from Thornton. That's kind of boomer bust based on Worthy. Brown missed last week, injured versus Houston. I'm assuming back. Is off the injury report from Monday night's game and expected to play. Okay. Model projections here. Nah, I'm right with market. Slightly lean under. Could see him going over, though. So not going to be anything official there. Let's get into the anytime touchdowns in this game, and then we'll probably call it. Yeah. I do like ETN. Scored in 3 straight. 4 and 2 red zone rush attempts. He scored last week without one. He didn't have any red zone rush attempts last week either. Okay. What's the best price we can find on an ETN anytime touchdown? I got a FanDuel plus 115. Looking for a Travis Etienne anytime touchdown. I got a no vig plus 130 at what kind of liquidity? $91. Okay. 128 bet 105, $500 limits. Plus you can rebet. That's where I'm going. I'm gonna run that at bet 105. Hold on, I gotta log into my bet 105. There we go. Why is this shit not working? There we go. Storch used the boost on that. I don't hate that at all, Storch. All right, maybe I'm an idiot, but I don't see the anytime touchdowns on here. Might have removed the market. All right, moving on to the next best line. Plus 120 at FanDuel, plus 125 at ESPN. Plus 125 at ESPN. Done. All right, let's make sure that line's there. ESPN. Yep, lock it in. I'll get a write-up on that bad boy. Going golfing at 1. I'll try to get it right before I tee off. Let me add that to the banner. All right. Anyone else? I'm torn between like a Pacheco and a Kareem Hunt. Pacheco, 3 red zone rush attempts this year. Kareem Hunt, 3, 5, 6, double the red zone rush attempts. Only scored in once in one. Plus 230 seems like a pretty fair price. Third in rushing yards and first in rushing touchdowns allowed. They allowed 1 to McCaffrey. None versus the Titan or Houston, who's ass. None versus Cincinnati, who's ass. And 1 versus Carolina. So the 2 decent, well, they're both good. Don't let me. McCaffrey is amazing and Chuba Hubbard's really good. Both good backs that have faced them have scored. How do I think? I think Jacksonville's going to score some points tonight. I think they're going to be in the red zone. I'm sorry. I think Kansas City's going to score some points tonight. I think they're going to be in the red zone. I don't hate a flyer on a Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown. I really don't. Plus 230 at FanDuel. Like, that does look 240 at FanDuel, 240. So they've even moved some since stream. $235 at Rivers. $244 at Novig for $25. I don't hate a flyer on Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown. I'm not going to run it yet, but I don't hate a flyer on Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown. I would love Xavier Worthy to get me an anytime touchdown. 3 red zone targets in the game versus Cincinnati. Terrible secondary, yeah. None the rest of the season, though. I'll go look at his end zone targets, but I don't even think they're like. Keep in mind, Kansas City's running too high all the time. 68, 69% of the time. He does lead the team in end zone targets at 2, tied with Brown and Hunter. So I'm going to stay off of it. I need it for fantasy, but I don't like it. I don't hate Kelce anytime touchdown. He's got 3 red zone targets this season. I want to go see where that stacks up for the Chiefs. Okay, he's got 3 red zone, 0 end zone targets, although he does have 1 touchdown, looks like. Yeah, 1 touchdown in that Chargers game. Thornton actually has the most end zone targets. And then Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy, if he plays, he does have 2 already in 2 games. Plus 150. A little tempting, but again, nothing that is really standing out to me. Juju has 2 end zone targets, 2 red zone targets. No, I think Etienne's going to be my only anytime touchdown right now. Yep. Would be nice to release an SGP. But I would like to wait with some more clarity because you know what? If I went an SGP, like a ladder SGP, I'll tell you what it would be. It would be Etienne's yards at about 80 plus. I make that line 88. So buy up on an Etienne. If for any reason Worthy doesn't play, I like Juju at 50. And then that third leg, instead of like another ladder spot, I think I'd still take fucking, like if we're laddering on FanDuel, I think I'd still run this under 219.5. I don't think there were many other like real ladder spots. Let me look through one more time. Yeah, Juju 50 ball. We could go like 50 ball, 5 receptions for Juju. Wait, no. That's exactly what I would do. Let's wait on Worthy news for sure. John, let me see, bro. Can I just? All right, hold on, y'all. I'm gonna post the YouTube link in this joint. And of course, that doesn't go to. Bro, I hope you can copy and paste this on your screen. I don't know if you can. I can't post comments to Twitter. That's the only place I can't post comments. Oh, I'm tripping. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go post it underneath the stream itself. I'll post the YouTube underneath the stream. I need to be doing that shit anyways, for real. All right, John. I just posted it from the Sharp Side page underneath the stream, so you can go see everything there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it right there. I will say this. This is what I was gonna finish with. My idea of some kind of a ladder parlay today is going to be Juju 50, Kelce 50, Etienne probably like 80. Let's go build that right now and see 50, 50, 80. See what we come in at. We should be at like plus 1,000. Good shit, John. Good shit, John. Appreciate it. These are all matching model projections too. Man, low key though, I could see Marquise Brown too. Maybe laddering his receptions up to 5 instead. I'm at plus 1854 right now on FanDuel for this. I'm not running it yet. 80 for ETN, 5 receptions for Brown, 50 for Juju. Let me sub out Brown for Kelsey and look for this to be released a little later. I'm going to talk to a couple people, see what their thoughts are on each player. Maybe tap into a few streams, ask some questions from some of the other sharp guys I follow. It's plus 1970, plus 1970 if we go Juju 50, Kelsey 50, ETN 80. That's where I'm leaning. That's really where I'm leaning. But we're not going to run anything yet. I'm just going to recap the show real quick. And then look for some write-ups. I'm definitely going to write up the ETN. I appreciate y'all to be showing love on those. They've been going great. Appreciate all the likes, appreciate all the retweets there. I definitely be seeing it. But expect the ETN write-up to come out, and then I will have some type of SGP. I'm just not sold on it yet. All right, 2 units on Trevor Lawrence under 227.5 passing yards. There's still some 221s out there. I'd drop it down to probably 1 unit, but I still have him projected at just 202. Pardon me. Travis Etienne over 62.5 rushing yards, 2 win, 1 unit there. Played it at Rivers. I think every line's playable, though. I make that line 88.8 actually. Travis Kelce, 40-plus receiving yards, minus 122 at Rivers. If you don't have Rivers, MGM was 41.5, minus 110, as was Hard Rock. Both numbers are still playable. I make the line 55.5, so I would want to be better than 44.5 over. And then last but not least, my only anytime touchdown prop, especially for now, Travis Etienne, anytime touchdown. We were able to lock this in plus 125 at ESPN Bet. And that will do it. Again, I'm just going to shout out everybody that dropped a like, dropped a retweet. I appreciate y'all for tapping in daily. Help me grow the brand. Help me grow the page. Appreciate you, Moneymaker. Appreciate you, Fox. Appreciate you, George. Obviously, props.cash. And obviously, Sosa been showing a lot of love. And then for the likers, my boy Prop Guy, we've been going in streams together. Appreciate you. And Mom Who Bets. I've been noticing you tapping in too, so I appreciate y'all. 11-4 yesterday. We were 1-3 on Thursday. We're up about 4, somewhere between 4 and 4.8 on the week. Looking to finish strong here. Would love to have. I think 5 units will be our best week this year, coming in at 11 through 4 weeks. So let's have a week. Let's go 4-0. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Best of luck today. Possibly an NFL recap tomorrow, but if not, definitely a The Sharp Side stream Thursday. Probably go noon Thursday, just golfing today. That's why we went earlier. All right, best of luck today. Catch y'all tomorrow. Until then, let's go.